following program is a student production, produced by Manchester High School's broadcast journalism class. The thoughts and opinions in this program do not necessarily match the views of the town of Manchester.
Coming up on this edition of Manchester Monthly.
A longtime Recreation Department Director is retiring to enjoy some well-earned rest and relaxation.
The Manchester High School mascot may be undergoing a new change.
While spring might be in the air, some residents still have winter obligations to meet with the town.
We'll have all that and much more coming up. I'm Tegan Welch.
And I'm Pat Levitt, and this is Manchester Monthly. The Manchester Recreation Department's director, Scott Sprague, a longtime town employee, is preparing to retire after 30 years of service to the town. Our own Mike Bonino pays him a visit to learn more about his career and the Parks and Rec Department here in Manchester.
Scott Sprague has been the director of the Recreation Department for over 30 years, but this year will be his last. Throughout his years in charge, he managed to build the program into something no one ever thought possible. With the indoor basketball and soccer programs in the winter, Flash, MELC, and one of the largest summer camp programs in the state, it's easy to see all the things he has accomplished. Rob Toplift gives us the insight on where the program was before he took charge compared to now.
It's been great for the last, I've been here for 20 years, and he's a great leader. He provides us a lot of knowledge and direction in where we want to go, but he also provides us the freedom to kind of go along and gives us guidance as we go further. So.
But with all these programs being offered to the town comes a lot of hard work along with it. It took Scott over 30 years to get where he is today, a feat that not many others would be able to accomplish. He tells us the drive that it took to achieve so much.
I think it's not so much how much work I personally put into it. I think it's how much the team of people I work with that are, all the park and rec professionals I've worked with over the years here. And I think that probably my biggest accomplishment would be assembling a good team to work with, and we have a very strong Parks and Recreation staff.
Scott Sprague has built the Manchester Recreation Department into something that the town can be very proud of, and we wish him a happy retirement. From the Manchester Monthly, this has been Andrew Hurd reporting.
The whole Manchester Monthly team wishes Scott Sprague success on a well-earned retirement and congratulations on his long career. Thanks for your many years of service to our community.
Now, as you may have noticed, Connecticut's roads took a pretty bad beating this winter. How is Manchester planning to respond to Mother Nature's wrath? Miles Hurley braves the elements to bring you news of Manchester's annual spring road cleanup.
As you know, the state of Connecticut gets hit with countless amount of snow each year. The snow we receive not only crowds up the streets, but leaves behind every driver's worst nightmare, potholes. Potholes and the other damages the snow leave behind raises high concerns for the citizens of Manchester. Tim O'Neill explains how the town deals with these reoccurring road issues.
Well, this winter was a particularly harsh winter. The excessive amount of snow combined with the very cold temperatures caused more than the usual number of potholes around town.
Although we all want the potholes gone as soon as possible, at the end of the day, it's up to Mother Nature as to when the potholes can be fixed.
When the warm weather comes and the asphalt plants are opened again, then a more permanent patch will be completed. But like I said, you can't do that until the warm weather comes.
Many Manchester residents are ready for the roads to be fixed up. The damages to the streets cause many problems for drivers. With these damages, there's always the risk of a driver popping their tire or worse. Manchester residents are unhappy with some of the road conditions around town.
The roads in Manchester are terrible after this winter. There's potholes literally everywhere and the roads kind of need to be redone.
Not only were potholes a major problem this winter, but cleaning up the mess of snow left behind was also something the town had to deal with.
Well, if they don't clear off the properties, what we are finding is kids, particularly kids walking to school, will avoid those sidewalks. They'll then walk in the streets, and that causes a danger or harm to the potential danger or harm to the children walking in the streets. In fact, there was last winter in Fairfield, I believe, there was a student who was walking in the street and was hit by a car and killed. So the town feels an obligation to get that snow off the sidewalk if the property owner won't do it himself or herself.
With the snow still piled high and potholes scattered all over Manchester, the town will be looking to get out and start work on recovering from the winter. For Manchester Monthly, this has been Miles Hurley reporting.
But enough about snow. Now it's time for your Friday morning trivia question.
And the question is, what is the official first day of spring? Again, the question is, what is the official first day of spring?
With your teacher's permission, email Mr. Larson at b11elars@mpspride.org.
Again, that's b11elars@mpspride.org. And a free breakfast could be on its way.
Staying with sports, mascots are an important part of high school life. They are the visual representation of school spirit, and the Indians have been associated with Manchester High School since its founding. Yet, with area schools such as Hall and Conrad de-emphasizing their Native American mascot imagery, we wonder how Manchester feels about its mascot.
The town of Manchester has recently experienced some controversy about Manchester High School's mascot being a Native American Indian. This is a widespread problem recently affecting other towns such as West Hartford's Chieftains. Our school's mascot has been around since the beginning of its sports program and recently has been removed from the school's climate, replaced with other logos or just a simple M for Manchester. We go to Manchester's student, alumni, and residents to ask the question, do you feel our town's mascot is controversial, and is it all right for the school to cover up such a deeply rooted tradition?
I think it's just something that's been around for a long time, just to change it.
You know, as long as I've been here, that's been the mascot. The tradition is to honor the courage and be inspired by the Native Americans.
It's tradition at my house because we all love the Indians. We were going to have my baby brother as a mascot for a football game, but now we can't because they're changing it.
This is borderline of where all the pilgrims came on, and you should definitely, you know, represent the fact that this was Indian land long before it was ours, and what an Indian head would represent is, you know, warriors, strength, you know.
I don't really like it. Because I think they should embrace that we're Indians.
As you can see, Manchester High School's mascot has alternatively served as a source of pride for some and disdain for others. The Board of Education is expected to meet soon to discuss the issue and decide if changes to Manchester's mascot and logo is warranted. From Manchester Monthly, this has been Noah Richards reporting.
Manchester has not yet changed their mascot and may stay the Indians for years to come, but it is likely that it will not be seen as much around the school halls.
The Parent-Teacher Association works diligently to advocate for students and works to raise money to host special events and programming in the Manchester Public Schools. Saturday, March 21st, marked the 3rd annual District Science Fair hosted by the PTA.
In first place in the grades 4 to 5 invention category goes to Kyle Burke for Ride and Recharge.
On March 21st, the Manchester PTSA Town Council partnered with the Manchester Board of Education to host the 4th annual district-wide science fair.
It's amazing to see what our students can achieve in just a short period of time. The interesting part for me is that this year we've included Invention Convention in the science fair, which actually opened it up to students as young as 5. So we do have kindergartners that participated in our townwide event. So it's just amazing to see what our elementary and middle school students are capable of doing.
In the competition, students were able to submit a project in one of the following categories: investigation, model, and convention.
Certainly adding the Invention Convention was a part that added an extra layer of organization.
Each student demonstrated a great deal of intelligence in their projects. Fourth grader Kyle Burke invented a system where the energy from a power drill was converted into electricity to charge a cellular device.
The drill represents the bike, which powers the generator, which then goes to the rectifier, which converts alternating current to direct current. And then the capacitor stores electric charge, so when you go up a hill or something, it would make up for the lost charge.
Approximately 350 students across the district participated in the science fair program. These young scientists invested mass amounts of time and efforts into these projects.
Well, I didn't do it all in one time, but it probably took me like 1 or 2 months.
Nearly 200 projects were showcased at school-based contests.
Every year you cross your fingers and you hope that the kids who signed up would actually follow it all the way through. And so when those kids walk through the door, you just get excited for one kid to come. So, you know, I kind of gotten over my fears in the past couple of years, and now it's, you know, if it's only 10, if it's only 5, we'll always have the Manchester Science Fair.
The top winners from each school in each category were invited to participate in the district-wide science fair.
So very excited that today's winners will go on to compete in the statewide competition, which will be held at UConn on May 2nd. So that's very exciting that we will have Manchester Public Schools represented at the statewide invention convention.
These students are taking their first steps in becoming the next best scientists and inventors. With all the potential here today, many will go on to have bright futures. From Manchester Monthly, this has been Dominique Mohammed reporting.
On Saturday, May 2nd, our Manchester winners will travel to UConn to compete against other science fair winners from all around the state. Good luck to all involved.
A competitive nature can and will take you far in life. One student in particular broke a 20-year-old record after what was a remarkable high school diving career.
Manchester, home to many adults, children, and star athletes. Senior diver Ajit Sandhu from Manchester High School spends his whole winter on the diving board. Ajit broke Manchester High School's record for the best scored dive in over 20 years. Ajit spends hours on end in the Manchester High School pool practicing flips and turns into the water. He practices 5 days a week, and the work that he puts into his practices surely pays off.
The previous record was like 2:45, and the first time I broke it, I scored 2:47, and then I broke it again, and I scored 2:56. So.
Not only does Ajit have support from Manchester High School and his coaches, he has loving, supporting parents who show up to every meet to cheer him on and push him to the best that he can be.
Well, I'm very excited. I'm very proud of him. Couldn't imagine that he could pull this off. But he practiced hard. He practiced very hard. And he wanted to do this, and he's done it. So we're very happy and excited.
Ajit qualified for CCC's Double L States and went on a state open at Middletown High School with 24 other divers from around Connecticut, each of them showing their very best to impress the judges. Out of the 24 competitors, he came in 15th. Although Ajit does not have any specific plans for diving in college, he knows that wherever he goes, his coach's lessons will always stick with him. Ajit plans on striving to become a better diver and also become better at everything else he does.
My coach is like also very supportive. She is like a really nice person, and there are times where I can get really hard on myself, and I'm very critical of like everything I do, like if things aren't good enough. But she's kind of gotten me to kind of feel good about my dives and things I'm doing.
The dive team next year will miss Ajit as he moves on to bigger and better things, but Manchester High School will never forget the milestone that he created. For Manchester Monthly, this has been Jenna Kelly reporting.
Although Ajit is still undecided about his college plans, we have high expectations for this aspiring athlete.
Another year means another canoe and kayak race on the Hockanum River, but this year things are a bit different. Quinn Packer was riverside to report on this year's race.
While Easter is commonly summed up by bunnies, eggs, and chocolate, the 51 registered boats in the Hockenham River Race spent it on the water. Of the registered entrants, some participated for the competitive nature.
Coming first, second place many of times, and I'm a trooper, man. I'm out here die hard. You know, I'm not even wearing thermals today.
And others were there just for the fun of the race.
It's awesome. Wonderful people, good time, the rush of the waves, and hopefully you make it to the end. And at the end of the day, we get a t-shirt.
The Hockenham River Race has been an annual event since 1977. This year, the water levels were a little bit higher, making it dangerous. The racers took the higher risk of danger as an extra level adventure, and most finished the race safely and fulfilled.
Much higher water, it was nice. Yeah, better water, faster water. Yeah. More is better for us.
The race will continue as a fun yet competitive tradition for many cold April mornings to come. From Manchester Monthly, this has been Quinn Packer reporting.
Despite the race being a competitive event, most entrants were there for the fun and atmosphere. Be sure to catch the race next year.
And with that, this is it for your April edition of Manchester Monthly. I'm Pat Levitt.
And I'm Tegan Welch. And that's what's news, Manchester.